Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, our Deputy President, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Executive, Legislature, Judiciary, all the friendly nations gathered here today by their representatives, our development partners, and all our stakeholders. My Father, today we launch the fourth medium-term plan for our country. We seek your blessing that we shall deliver as one, bound by your cherished values of selflessness and brotherhood. We pray that you shall provide the resources that we shall achieve all the objectives set out in this plan. Father, we thank you that you'll guide us and give us wisdom to serve our people and enrich their lives, and all the glory and honor shall be yours. This I pray, believing and trusting in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
We may kindly take our seats. Take this opportunity to welcome you to the fourth medium-term plan launch for the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Your Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Attorney General, the Head of Public Service, the CS Treasury, Professor Njuguna, all Cabinet Secretaries and Principal Secretaries present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, all invited and distinguished guests. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, at this point, I would like to invite the PS State Department of Economic Planning, James Mohati, to give some opening remarks. Welcome. We can clap for him as he's coming.
These are proceedings from State House on the launch of the medium-term Plan 4. This particular plan will guide the country from the 2023 to 2027 year in terms of development. The medium-term plan is anchored under the Kenya Vision 2030, and it has guided development planning in Kenya since 2008. The first medium-term plan was from 2008 to 2012. The second one ran from 2013 to 2017. The third ran from 2018 to 2022, and the fourth medium-term plan that is being launched today will take the country from 2023 to 2027. We now follow the proceedings of the launch presided over by President Dr. William Ruto.
Council of the Economic Advisors, the county governors present, members of the diplomatic corps, principal secretaries, representatives of development partners, private sector and non-state actors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to welcome you all here today for the launch of the fourth medium-term plan for 2023-2027, which is themed a bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive growth. Your Excellency, you have espoused and demonstrated the need for focus, that we should know where we are going, and you have been deliberate with a bias toward action. And every time we see you asking this question, let's see something happen now. This document, Your Excellency, presents the focus, roadmap, and the strategic direction that our country will take for the period of the plan. The preparatory process of the MTP4, therefore, has been rigorous and participatory. I wish to acknowledge the invaluable support received from all the stakeholders during the preparation of the medium-term 4 plan, and particularly the Deputy President and his office, the office of the PCS through the Advisory Council on Policy, the Cabinet, members who are here. We want to appreciate your invaluable support. And Your Excellency, we have been to the Cabinet around 4 times, but we got the support of the Cabinet. And the head of public service, who is the chairman of the steering committee of MTP4 sector working groups. I would also want to acknowledge the invaluable support, Your Excellency, that we received from the principal secretaries, the Council of Governors, and also the county governments, because it was important for the document to be aligned with the CIDPs. You remember, Your Excellency, you had signed county charters with county governments, which were then included in the CIDPs in the county governments, and it was important that these programs are also included in the MTP. I would also want to appreciate the chairman of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the governor, Central Bank of Kenya, the PS National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kiptoo is here, and the staff of the National Treasury, the chair of the Finance Committee, and the Presidential Council of Economic Advisors, who ensured that the MTP4 priorities were focused and sharpened. And all this, Your Excellency, would not have been possible without the able leadership of our team leader, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u. Thank you very much, CS. And I want to salute also the Department for Economic Planning, Fraternity, including the state agencies, KIPRA, the National Council for Population Development, NEPAD, NGCDF, and the Kenya Vision 2030 for their tireless effort in preparing the fourth medium-term plan. The National Treasury, Your Excellency, and Economic Planning is committed to the strengthening of the national planning function by reviewing and re-engineering its processes, procedures, and policies to ensure that the planning function is effective, efficient, and impactful in order to achieve the desired and expected targets of national development. And with those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, allow me now to invite the Chief of Staff and the Head of Public Service, Mr. Felix Koskei, to give his remarks and continue with your program. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Cabinet Secretaries present, the Attorney General, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, it is a great honor to welcome you in this very auspicious occasion in the government's planning calendar to the launch of the fourth medium-term plan under the theme Bottom-up Economic Transformation Agenda for Inclusive Growth. As the chairman of the MTP4 National Steering Committee, I acknowledge the presence of the speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate, the Attorney General, honorable members of Parliament, Cabinet Secretaries, chairs of the National Assembly Committees on Finance and National Planning, principal secretaries, ambassadors, and heads of missions. Your Excellency, the preparatory process of the MTP4 began in July 2021 with the development of the concept note, which was approved by the MTP4 National Steering Committee in December 2021, providing the roadmap for preparation of the plan. The MTP4 National Steering Committee was formed to provide overall guidance and advice at all stages of production of the plan. The National Steering Committee, comprising of all principal secretaries and the Solicitor General, was chaired by the Secretary of the Cabinet and Head of the Public Service. After the current administration took office in September 2022, the National Steering Committee was reconstituted under the chairmanship of the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service. The draft MTP4 was presented to the National Steering Committee in April 2023 for adoption. Your Excellency, the MTP4 that you are launching today has incorporated the government's priorities in all sectors of the economy as espoused by the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. I therefore urge all the accounting officers to ensure timely implementation of priorities that fall within their respective dockets. As I conclude, I would like to extend my gratitude to the National Steering Committee for its contribution towards the development of the fourth medium-term plan, and therefore let us embark on this journey with a renewed sense of purpose and a shared determination to create a brighter and more prosperous Kenya. Together we can turn aspirations into achievements, dreams into realities, and shape a destiny that future generations will proudly inherit. May I now invite the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning to come forward and take charge of the program going forward. Welcome, Professor.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, the Honorable Attorney General, my colleagues, CS, the county governors present, members of the diplomatic corps, principal secretaries, representatives of the development partners, private sector, and non-state actors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me great pleasure and even immeasurable privilege to welcome you today during the launch of the fourth medium-term 2023-2027 of the Kenya Vision 2030, whose theme is actually bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive growth. Your Excellency, since independence, the development planning in Kenya has actually mainly been undertaken in 5-year cycles. In the intermediate, the sessional papers, like, for example, sessional paper number 10 of 1965, had specific themes. One of the first themes was African socialism and application to planning in Kenya. The sessional paper number 1 of 1986, it was on economic management for renewed growth. And the National Development Plan for 1966-1970 focused on reducing illiteracy, poverty, and disease. Subsequent national development plans addressed specific thematic areas. For example, the sessional paper number 2 of 1996 on industrial transformation to the year 2020, which informed the National Development Plan of 1997-2001. In 2002, the government introduced Economic Recovery Strategy, ERS, for wealth and employment creation for 2003-2007. Successful implementation of ERS gave way to the development of the Kenya Vision 2030. We are happy that the Kenyan Vision 2030 was adopted in 2008, which is actually a long-term development blueprint with an overarching vision, a globally competitive and prosperous economy with high quality of life by 2030. The Kenya Vision 2030 is implemented through 5-year medium-term development plans, or MTPs. The first MTP was implemented from 2008 to 2012. The second MTP was implemented in 2013 to 2017. And the third one was implemented between 2018 and 2022. So today, we are actually focusing on MTP4, which we're launching and is the last of the 5-year medium-term planning, which will transition the country to the next long-term development plan because it covers the period of 2023 to 2027. In 2014, Your Excellency, Kenya transitioned from a low-income status to a lower middle-income country upon attaining a gross domestic product per capita of US dollar 1,430.35 cents. And this achievement marked a significant milestone in Kenya because it was providing us with a path towards realizing the aspiration of the Kenyan Vision 2030. Today, therefore, it marks a very significant chapter in the nation's history as we embark on the implementation of the new development strategy, the fourth medium-term plan 2023-2027, and which is guided by the Vision 2030. But more importantly, it is aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Your Excellency, the MTP4 was prepared through an extensive consultative process involving the sector working groups, the county consultative forums, the national stakeholder forum under the overall guidance of the National Steering Committee. The National Stakeholder Forum provided a platform for consultation between the government and the non-state actors. Your Excellency, the MTP4 will implement the objectives of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, whose programs and even projects are classified under 5 sectors, namely the finance and development, infrastructure, the social sector, environment and natural resources, and governance and public administration. Your Excellency, the finance and production sector is projected to grow at 3.4% in 2022 from 3.4% in 2022 to an average of around 8.2% in 2027. The infrastructure sector will grow from 5.5% that was witnessed in 2022 to 5.9% in 2027. The social sector growth is projected at 7% in 2027 from a level of 5% in 2022, while the environment and natural resource sector will grow from 7.9% in 2023 to around 8.9% in 2027. These are very, very important, ambitious growth targets. Governance and public administration sector is projected to grow from 4.6% to 5.8% in 2027. This growth will be driven by raising agricultural productivity through improving crops and livestock value chains, transformation of the micro, small, and medium enterprises of the economy through provision of accessible and even affordable credit, increasing investment in housing and settlement, development of human capital aspects and sectors like healthcare, education, and even training, increasing domestic resource mobilization, digital evolution through investing in the digital superhighway, and the creative economy. And all that will be also underpinned by improving and developing markets in various sectors that we have the relative comparative advantage. Your Excellency, we are aware of the various challenges confronting our economy. The main ones include external negative shocks that have affected especially the inflation in the last couple of months, especially in 2023 and other years of 2024, the interest structure that has also a global component, a recurring drought that was quite devastating in 2022-2023. All these have affected economic management and slowed economic recovery. But we have seen economic recovery towards the end of 2023 showing some signs of sustainability, of strong recovery, but also sustainability. As a result, the MTP4 macroeconomic framework has taken these challenges into consideration and seeks to strengthen economic resilience and drive inclusive, broad-based, and even sustainable economic growth. Over the medium term, the government will focus on taming the cost of living through prudent monetary policy to attain an inflation target of 5.0%. So far, in the latest data, we're at 6.3%. We want second to create an average of 1.2 million new jobs annually, because we have massive unemployment, especially with our youth. Third, we want to expand the tax revenue base to increase total revenue collection, which is also going to help us in terms of financing development. Fourth, achieving broad-based and inclusive growth that's going to be very, very important to actually eradicate and strongly influence poverty reduction. Recognizing the challenging global environment and also the need to bring our economy to a recovery trajectory, during the MTP4 period, the government will implement policies, programs, and projects which will result in raising the GDP growth rate to about 4.8% in 2022. That is so far what we have witnessed, and we do believe by 2027 the growth rate is likely to focus or be in the region of 7.2%. Your Excellency, the National Treasury and Economic Planning will work closely with the relevant institutions to instill a culture of fiscal balancing aimed at reducing the gap between revenues and even expenditures over the medium term. And this will entail improved resource mobilization and expenditure prioritization. Regarding the fiscal consolidation, total revenue is projected to increase from 16.5% in 2022-2023 fiscal year to around 19.7% of GDP in 2027-2028. To this end, we will work towards reducing total expenditure from a projected 24.2% in 2023-2024 to about 22.9% of GDP in 2027-2028. And this is expected to bring down the overall fiscal balance, excluding grants, to 3.2% of GDP in 2027-2028. Your Excellency, the Public Finance Act of 2012 requires that the national government budget be based on integrated development planning process that includes both long-term and medium-term planning. In view of this, the National Treasury and Economic Planning will ensure that the MTP4 is linked with budgeting through the medium-term expenditure framework. The National Integrated Monitoring and Evaluation System of the country, Integrated Monitoring and Evaluation System, will be strengthened to ensure that the effective monitoring and even reporting of the implementation of the MTP4 and even county integrated development plans, respectively, will be in line with the National Monitoring and Evaluation Policy. In addition, the Ministry will carry out a mid-term review and an end-term evaluation for the MTP4 to ascertain that the extent to which the realization of these objectives has been achieved. So, Your Excellency, the next phase of MTP4 process will involve disseminating the plan to all counties and other relevant stakeholders. We'll be guided by our shared responsibility, and under your leadership, Your Excellency, we look forward to unlocking the potential and seize the opportunities within our borders, and thus keeping the hopes of Kenyans alive. As I conclude, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the esteemed stakeholders for their significant contributions throughout the process of preparing the MTP4. I wish also to extend my appreciation to my colleagues, the Cabinet Secretaries and the Principal Secretaries, for providing guidance and even identification of the sector-specific working groups and projects that are actually being seen as quite a building blocks in terms of our success. And finally, Your Excellency, I wish to salute the efforts and dedication by the staff of the National Treasury and Economic Planning, including the heads of planning in MDAs, for their professionalism and even strong commitment during the preparations for MTP4. I wish to make sure that what we are going to present and what we learn today is going to be a guiding post, and we are going to see the results by 2027. These results are consistent with what we believe we are going to achieve. It's now my pleasure, Your Excellency, to invite His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, to make his remarks and invite you to launch the MTP4 under the banner of Bottom-up Economic Transformation Agenda for Inclusive Growth. Your Excellency, thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, my colleagues, members of the Cabinet, Your Excellency, governors who are here present, Your Excellencies, the High Commissioners, ambassadors, and heads of multilateral institutions, members of the private sector, members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'll be very brief. So I'll just flag two things. One, this is a unique launch, a very unique launch. Why? Because it is happening at State House. What does this signal? I can at least think of two things. First, it signals high-level approval and ownership of the MTP4 plan. Essentially, the buck stops here. The second thing that I would say it signals is that there will be close monitoring and evaluation of the implementation of the plan from the highest level. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, there shall be very little room to wriggle outside this framework. Finally, I think it also symbolizes that this is a national plan, a program for the Republic of Kenya. It is going to be the framework for engagement with our international partners and friends, with the citizens of Kenya, with our friends and partners, and it also provides the broad framework to engage with the private sector here and beyond. So with these few remarks, let me just say that we congratulate the team that has put together, worked tirelessly under the Treasury, CS Ndungu, and the entire team, the Head of Public Service, for transforming the broad ideas into an actionable plan. We thank you most sincerely, and with those few remarks, I would now wish that we be upstanding so that we can invite His Excellency the President to make his remarks as he launches the plan.
Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you very much, PCS. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very important occasion, as I am delighted to preside over the launch of the fourth medium-term plan covering the period of 2023 to 2027, which marks the final five-year plan of the Kenya Vision 2030, launched in 2008. The Kenya Vision 2030 stands as our nation's ambitious long-term development blueprint designed to elevate Kenya into a newly industrialized middle-income country, ensuring a high quality of life for all citizens by the year 2030. This vision is grounded on economic, social, and political pillars fortified by key enablers identified to propel us towards our collective aspirations as a people. Since its inception, significant progress has been achieved in realizing the goals set forth by the Kenya Vision 2030 through the implementation of preceding medium-term plans that have come in subsequent phases. Yet, our economy continues to grapple with fundamental challenges, including widening inequality, low productivity, and susceptibility to economic shocks. These challenges demand urgent and resolute interventions to regain lost ground and align ourselves with our aspirations. This is why, upon assuming office, our administration pledged to spearhead a radical economic turnaround, fostering inclusive growth and enhancing the livelihoods and welfare of all our citizens, particularly those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. These commitments are intricately detailed within the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Consequently, it became imperative to ensure that the MTP4, together with the county integrated development plans, are aligned to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda objectives and priorities. Therefore, the fourth medium-term plan has translated the strategic objectives set out in our agenda into concrete programs and projects to be implemented in the plan period. Just to remind everybody here that the better plan, we not only have an agenda, but we also have a plan combined into one program. Calls for investments in 5 core strategic pillars: agriculture, healthcare, housing and settlement, micro, small and medium enterprise economy, and the digital superhighway, including the creative economy. Without losing crucial time, the government has moved to undertake a number of interventions in fulfillment of the commitments made to our citizens. And these include, broadly, strengthening the independence of the judiciary and enhancing efficiency within the justice system, increased budgetary allocation to all our justice arms, and granting financial autonomy, specifically the Inspector General of Police, to give him the levers to be able to adjudicate and operationalize operations by the police without any hindrance. We've also reverted the port operations, as I committed, of the standard gauge railway from Nairobi to Mombasa, and today Mombasa is the vibrant city that we always knew. But additionally, we're now going to work on modernizing the port of Mombasa, making it much more efficient, and looking at how private sector players can be brought on board so that we can achieve the kind of efficiencies that will make Mombasa a truly modern port city. We also are rolling out the Hustler Fund to provide access to affordable credit to individuals and MSFEs, and also eliminating the long-standing challenge of predatory lenders. Prioritizing the enhancement of Women Enterprise Fund progressively from Kenya shillings 4.5 billion and up to 13.5 billion in the medium term. We're also providing 5.5 million bags of fertilizer last year and additional this year as part of our program to improve agricultural yields. And we are doing this at an affordable price this year of 2,500 per 50 kilogram bag. I know the Minister for Agriculture and his team are working round the clock. We've had challenges with the war in Europe. We've had to divert ships bringing our fertilizer away from the Red Sea into other routes, round to South Africa, causing some delay. But I want to assure the farming community in the country that we are well on course on making sure that we will have sufficient planting fertilizer in the next couple of weeks. We've also digitized 15,000 government services to enhance service delivery and to ensure that Kenyans can access government services from the comfort of their phones in whatever place they may be. Also undertaking the construction already of 103,000 affordable housing units countrywide. And just yesterday or the day before, we signed into law the new framework that will guide the affordable housing program, our target being not just housing units, but decent living livelihoods for our people, and also enhancing employment opportunities and driving our construction industry to make sure that it informs the growth of our economy. Formulation and implementation of the new funding model for our tertiary education is also underway to address the needs of students, especially those from vulnerable backgrounds. The model has been used to provide financial support for first-year students joining tertiary institutions, both in 2023, and is the model that is informing what we are going to do this year. As we are all aware, we've recruited 56,000 primary and secondary school teachers to improve the national teacher-pupil ratio and enhance education outcomes. We've also operationalized the National Open University Concert Technopolis, and I'm proud to say that we have over 1,000 students already enrolled. As we're all aware, we've enacted the Social Health Insurance Act 2023, which establishes the Primary Health Care Fund, Emergency and Chronic Illness Fund, and Social Health Insurance Fund to facilitate universal health coverage, as well as the rollout of primary health care networks and deployment of 100,000 community health promoters working in concert and together with our county governments. During the fourth medium-term plan, the government will boost production through a value chain approach targeting leather and leather products, textile and apparels, dairy, tea, rice, edible oils, blue economy, minerals, forestry, construction, and building materials, among others. Emphasis will be given to the promotion of agro-processing and the strengthening of extension services, provision of quality and affordable farm inputs, cooperative development and management, market access and logistics support, expansion of irrigation infrastructure, adoption of climate-smart agriculture, enhanced agricultural financing, and agricultural mechanization, research, and development. The Ministry of Agriculture and all the other stakeholders are aware of the meetings we've had along to make this a reality, because it is our intention not just to mechanize, but to make sure that our agriculture is smart and our agriculture is focused on productivity. To create employment, focus will be given to investment in special economic zones, county aggregation and industrial parks, export of labor, digital jobs, and ensuring that we have diversification of export markets and market access of MSME goods and services. The government will also establish Jumuiya cross-border markets and strengthen cooperation with our traditional and new trade partners. We will scale up the Financial Inclusion Fund, commonly known as the Hustler Fund, with a view to actualizing its commitment to increase access to affordable credit for those at the bottom of the pyramid. And additionally, we will undertake reforms to create a favorable tax regime, deepen capital markets, improve the lending and investment environment, and attract investors to the Nairobi International Financial Center. To increase efficiency and enhance mobility, the plans entail substantial investments in infrastructure development, particularly transport connectivity. This will include the construction of an extra 6,000 kilometers of new roads, upgrading of 101,000 kilometers of existing roads, and the construction of 277 footbridges, amongst other pieces of infrastructure to enhance our mobility. And that program starts with the next budget cycle. Climate change continues to pose serious challenges to our socio-economic development, manifested through extreme climatic conditions and erratic weather patterns, which disrupt production and livelihoods and put lives at risk. The fourth medium-term plan prioritizes investments aimed at building resilience against these challenges, including the construction of water ponds, small dams, and water harvesting structures in arid and semi-arid areas, including the whole array of megadams that are already in our plan. We've also launched a nationwide drive to grow 15 billion trees by 2032 through the Jaza Miti campaign. This initiative will complement other ongoing efforts to protect the country's water towers. In this plan, we will implement robust initiatives to promote sustainable waste management practices and enhance pollution control measures. Every cabinet minister has already been assigned a county, maybe I think 2 counties. And we will be expecting clarity in what every cabinet secretary and their teams are doing on the tree planting exercise. I note with a bit of concern that I am yet to receive any meaningful strategy and plan from cabinet secretaries. Shortly, the weatherman has told us we will have rain coming. It is my expectation that every cabinet secretary assigned to the counties that you have been assigned, that you will present a plan and you will work on a strategy, because every county has been assigned between 400 million and 600 million trees to be grown in different parts. I will be expecting that every cabinet secretary will mobilize tree seedlings, will mobilize communities, private sector, development partners, friends, to participate in this exercise in each and every county of the Republic of Kenya. Sustainable climate action not only addresses challenges, but also presents opportunities for transitioning to a green economy. We will leverage on technology and scientific advances to stimulate economic transformation in a sustainable manner. Other infrastructural projects to be implemented during the MTP4 period include the construction of 1 million affordable housing units and the laying of 4,600 kilometers of high-voltage transmission lines and 37 substations to connect an additional 2.3 million Kenyans and 30,000 public institutions to the national grid. Additionally, an extra 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable will be laid as part of our national fiber optic backbone infrastructure program. Already, the different actors in this space, from ICTA to Kenya Power to the Ministry of ICT, have been aligned, and we intend to deliver this. Instead of the 5-year plan we had planned, we have already found innovative ways to deliver this in the next 2 years. Access to quality and affordable health care remains a key priority of the government and will therefore expand the social health insurance scheme focus on the Afya Bora Mashinani model targeting 10.8 million households. We'll also digitize health services and improve health infrastructure. Already, the program has been agreed between Treasury and Ministry of Health on the digitization process, and that process has started enumerating and enlisting citizens onto the platform, so that by June this year, we will be going the rollout of services under our new health infrastructure. Over 20,000 health workers will also be recruited to support the health commodities supply chain. We all know that KEMSA has always been a thorn in the flesh, if I may say. But we have taken steps to make sure that not only KEMSA is digitized, but professionalized, and we are giving them additional staff, because health commodities are a big part of the delivery of our universal health program. Our human capital development, our commitment is to achieve the following critical targets: recruit and train 116,000 teachers and automate the basic education system, expand technical vocational education and training, and scale up admissions to the National Open University, as well as open distance and e-learning. In addition, the institutional framework for financing tertiary education has been adopted and will be strengthened in the medium term. Recognizing the critical role of science, technology, and innovation in Kenya's competitiveness, we undertake to mobilize funding for research and development and enhance budgetary allocation to the sector towards the attainment of the 2% of GDP guideline in line with the internationally accepted standards. The plan also includes building science and technology innovation parks and establishing a national center for innovation, technology transfer, and commercialization. Kenya is a universally respected global sports powerhouse with potential to dominate even more sporting and athletic disciplines. To support talent sports and arts, the government will continue to implement Talanta Hela as an initiative for monetizing talent and putting money in people's pockets. We will also expand sports and arts infrastructure and promote sports tourism to support international sporting events. On the creative economy, we are marketing Kenya as a film destination by establishing an incentives framework for the production of film and commercials, supporting production of local content, establishing a national creative economy council, promoting artists' rights, and providing technical capacity for the growth of the creative industry. With regard to affirmative action, the government will remodel and digitize the Youth Enterprise Fund, WESO Fund, Women Enterprise Fund, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund to enhance financing for enterprises owned and run by youth, women, and persons with disability. The government will also revamp the cash transfer program to cushion the vulnerable in society. It is instructive to note, and I want to commend the Ministry of Labour, that this program that had many challenges now has been put on a digital platform, and beneficiaries of cash transfer now receive their cash transfer using M-Pesa, and they don't have to make long queues. They do not have to wait in banks. They can access their money in all outlets very close to their homes. Recognizing the need to revitalize our tourism sector, the MTV4 prioritized the promotion of meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, cultural festivals, food exhibitions, and the development and marketing of unique niche experiences. The Bomas of Kenya will be converted into a modern conference, hotel, and exhibitions facility, and the KICC will be engineered to achieve more than it currently is. Harnessing the potential of the blue economy is critical to our transformative growth agenda. During the MTP4 period, we will focus on establishing requisite infrastructure, enhancing skills and development, and ensuring maritime safety and security. I am seized of what Mvurya and team are doing in this space, and we are making tremendous progress on unlocking the potential in that sector. I hold the firm conviction that by upholding the rule of law and efficient justice systems, the government of Kenya will create a conducive environment for economic and social transformation. For this reason, we will enhance support for the justice, law, and order sector by recruiting additional policemen, prison officers, national government administrative officers, officers for the Office of the Attorney General, officers for the Office of the EACC, officers for the Office of the ODP, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and making sure that we have all arms to deal with the challenge of corruption and impunity. I am very clear in my mind that we have what it takes to take Kenya to the next level. We have the requisite resources, if properly applied, if properly used with integrity, to move our country to the next level. What we witness every time, in some instances, corruption is budgeted into our budget cycle. People budget things that they know will not go to the people of Kenya. I will be spending time tomorrow with our Treasury to make sure that with a tooth comb, we eliminate anything that will not go to benefit the people of Kenya in our budget, and that our budget is going to be an instrument for the delivery of our plan for the benefit of the people of Kenya and to provide inclusive growth. The tragedy that we have is that even those who go and challenge government policy in our courts, you cannot believe it, that after they have obtained stays and they have obtained injunctions against government policy, whether it is housing, whether it is our universal health coverage plan, they have the audacity, they have the temerity to come and look for government officials and tell them, if you talk to us nicely, we are going to remove the injunction. I mean, what level of impunity is that? And that is why it is our commitment that we need to enhance the Office of the Attorney General, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Office of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Authority, and the DCI to make sure that we have the requisite capacities to protect the resources and the finances of the people of Kenya. Additionally, we will modernize the Kenya Coast Guard and improve the welfare of all our security personnel in line with the recommendations that were given to us by the task force that we set up under former Justice Maraga. To diversify sources of financing, the government will strengthen collaboration with the private sector and other non-state actors. We are committed to revitalizing the public-private partnership framework to attract more investors and support the implementation of government priorities in our MTP4 plan. As we embark on the implementation of the fourth medium-term plan, we recognize the challenges posed by dynamic global environment, including the current and future geopolitical turbulence and regional conflicts, with the potential to disrupt global supply chains, as I informed you earlier, and exert inflationary pressure on our economy. We have formulated appropriate measures to mitigate the effects of global pressures on our citizens. The emergence of pandemics, as evidenced by the COVID-19 outbreak, underscores the need to strengthen our healthcare systems, and our strategy for primary health will fortify Kenya's health systems to effectively respond to any emerging challenges. Kenya's development is intricately linked to the global economy, and we are therefore actively working to strengthen regional integration and international collaboration to facilitate the smooth movement of goods and services and deepen Kenya's foreign relations. I take this opportunity to recognize the critical role of our development partners, the private sector, and non-state actors, and invite them to work with us in implementing the commitments we have made to our citizens towards achieving robust economic growth and inclusive development. And I'm very happy to note that we have many development friends representing different countries in our midst. And I want to recognize their input, their participation, their contribution, their solidarity in working with us towards changing the fortunes of Kenya and making sure that Kenya is positioned appropriately to work with others in fostering development for humanity globally. The fourth medium-term plan, 2023-2027, ladies and gentlemen, is an instrument that we will use as a whole of government to deliver on the aspirations that the people of Kenya expect of all of us. I want to urge every member of the executive, members of the legislature, friends in the judiciary, to work collaboratively, to work together, build synergy, to make sure that we deliver on this plan, knowing very well that all of us are serving the Kenyan people together. The fourth medium-term plan, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, 2023-2027, is now officially launched. And I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. One more round of applause, please. Allow me, Your Excellency, to invite you to press the buzzer to symbolize the official launch of the fourth medium-term plan. And allow me to also invite the CS and the Prime Cabinet Secretary to join His Excellency as he presses the buzzer to symbolize the launch of the fourth medium-term plan, MTP4, Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda for Inclusive Growth. So, in 3, 2, 1. So what we have on the screen is the fourth medium-term plan, 2023-2027, bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive growth. I'll also request that Your Excellency, you hand over a hard copy to the Prime Cabinet Secretary and to the CS, and also for a photo opportunity, which we can take here. They'll receive it on behalf of the Cabinet. One being the plan and the other the implementation of it. Allow me to welcome you, Your Excellency, for a photo opportunity, maybe just here with holding the book. May I request that the Head of Public Service also join in the picture, kindly? If we can also give him... Thank you. And one more item is there was a gift, Your Excellency, from the Treasury team to be handed over to you by the Cabinet Secretary, Treasury, Professor Njuguna. And a wonderful clap for that eagle flying high.
We want to make sure that it is our...
He says it's to show that we're actually flying, taking off. Your Excellency, I'll request that you remain on stage for the national anthem, while I request the rest of us to be upstanding kindly as we now wind up with the national anthem. The national anthem. Thank you, Excellency. That brings us to the end of this session. Thank you.